It's all fire on the western front. Raining east, man, it's coming down. Snow's coming from the north undone. Time to fly south. Time to fly south. Hey, where's your wings? We gotta take to the wind. If we wanna see spring, we gotta soar over it all. Or none of us are gonna make it. It's all broken glass and rusty nails. Down here where the ground meets the sky. Watch your step and stay off the trails. Time to fly high. Time to fly high. Hey, where's your wings? We gotta take to the wind. If we wanna see spring, we gotta soar over it all. But none of us are gonna make it. None of us are gonna make it through the fall. Cupboard, are they under the bed? Are they in the words you never say? Are they in the world, are they in your head? Time to fly away. Time to fly away. Hey, where's your wings? We gotta take to the wind. If we wanna see spring, we gotta soar over it all. Or none of us are gonna make it. None of us are gonna make it. We gotta soar over it all. None of us are gonna make it. None of us are gonna make it through the fall. I wake up so early in the morning. You might not like talking to me. I need coffee just to be able to make coffee. I wake up like a cat up in a tree. Some folks rise and start shining. They're all ready to seize the day. As long as they keep their distance, everything just might be okay. I wake up so early in the morning.
Early in the Morning Afternoon News is filmed before a live webcast audience with your anchor, Nathan Moore. Hello, greetings, good afternoon, good morning. Man, what a week. Definitely been struggling here on the surly news front, trying to forge a new path. Boy, new paths are full of thickets. The mire. I feel like I've been stuck in the muck, trying to find news sources for the news. The news feed aggregators, it's a fascinating world, but it's it's a lot. It's a lot to process. There's no rhyme or reason to it. There's no flow. There's no headline. I don't know. I have so many thoughts. So many thoughts. It's debilitating. Absolutely debilitating. Maybe if I put my press hat on, my hat will do the thinking for me. I'll just let my hat. I'm going to follow my hat to the ends of the earth. Elijah's Archive. Good to see you. It's definitely it's been a lot to process, and some of it's been really fun to discover. These RSS aggregators are definitely cool, and I'm glad to have them in my life, regardless of how they factor into the show. I know what we need, but we're not going to get that anytime soon. I need a staff. I need a staff of people compiling the headlines for me in a rhythmic way that flows. I'm not that guy. I don't want to be that guy. And I'm just not qualified. Interns, exactly. AG. I need to win the lottery and hire a little staff. Boy, if I had a staff that just compiled for me 3 columns of headlines with a big headline at the top, wouldn't that be sweet? How you doing, tech support? Good to see you. But today I feel like I'm just gonna. I have to let go of the pace that I enjoy the most. I'm not going to use the countdown timer today. That didn't really seem to work. It was a good idea. I know why we had to try it, but I don't know. It's hard for me as a showman to look back on the last few days of shows and just watch them and see just how unwatchable they are. It's rough. I know. I'm with you. Had a comment on my YouTube channel from the show on Tuesday, I guess it was. What did they say? Here, let me look real quick. I love this gift Swaby put in. It's nice. Maybe we'll just sit here and stare at that. How about that? I got this challenge. I actually like this. From the Tuesday show. According to... Oh, weird. What is going on here? Now that channel let it in awful weird. Here we go. Look at this weird, huge square down here. Chat replay. Here we go. Hide that. There it is. Sir, all right, here. Silas, what's happening? Scott Rose on Tuesday's show commented, Surly, I recommend you read, all caps, a few more political books, all caps. Geez, you have a very one-sided view of the world. Hey, Saul, good to see you. Boy, you're lucky you've missed the last few shows in your travels. So I replied, well, what book should I read first? I'm game. What story inspired that statement, or was it just in general? And then I exclaimed, teach me. I'm here to be taught. Clutch, good to see you. Speaking of being taught, thank you for walking me through that stuff I didn't understand last night. I was watching the show back, and I really appreciate your patience with me. I did finally get my obtuse brain dislodged from the craggle. Is that a word? That had me snared. I was stuck on a thought, and I get it now. I understand the Ohio story much better, and thanks to your instruction, I now understand. But it reminded me of this funny thought from when I was a kid. I remember there was this one day I was sitting there and we were watching football, and all of a sudden it entered my mind for some reason, and this isn't going to make sense. Don't expect this to make sense. Don't try to get your brain around this. I don't want you to hurt yourself. But for some reason it hit me. I was like, oh, the team should miss the extra point. Then the next time they score, they'll go ahead. And I started, for some reason, I just started thinking this way. And I was like, they should just miss the extra point. And I got myself so convinced that it was a brilliant strategy just to miss the extra point. And I really didn't snap out of it until I expressed it to my dad. I was like, Dad, why don't they just miss the extra point? Then they'll go ahead the next time they score. And he looked at me like the fool I was. It was like, son, that doesn't make any sense. And I was like, well, but, and he was like, no, you know, and then he easily explained it to me. My point is that my brain was just wrong thinking. I was just thinking wrong. And it's inexplicable. It doesn't make any sense, but it was so clear to me for a few minutes there that it made perfect sense that the team should just not score that point. And then they would go ahead the next time they scored. It was wrong thinking. I should talk to Kether about that. What I bet there's terms for that in psychology. I don't know. But when I was listening back to me not understanding the Ohio story and the vote there and how that was a victory for abortion rights proponents, it hearkened me back to that time, and it's so funny to me how I'll never forget that little moment of wrong thinking when I was a kid. I was just a little kid, but it stuck with me. I was like, because then after I snapped out of it, I remember even as a child wondering how on earth, why did I think that was a good how I was just fascinated then by my own brain, my own stupid brain. I was like, gosh, how could I have thought that so clearly? So yeah, wrong thinking. But back to this comment on my YouTube channel, Scott Rose Surly, I recommend you read a few more political books. Geez, you have a very one-sided view of the world. I did reply. I hope he gets back to me. I'm here. I'm a curious fool. I'm a teachable soul. I'm ready to learn. I love that. I don't even know when he says I have a very one-sided view of the world. I completely believe that. That seems like very plausible to me. But I wonder which one-sided view of the world he thinks I have. I'm dying to know. Go on. I could see. I don't know. I'm not sure who this is, or I'd venture more of a guess. But I could see anybody with like a sort of passionate narrative or take on the world, or I don't know if he considers himself a holistic thinker or if he has his own ideology that he feels like I'm missing. I could see him coming from either end of the political spectrum, and not that I consider myself an enlightened centrist or what. I don't consider myself anything. I don't know. I'm just taking it one day at a time, one thought at a time. I care. I'm curious. But admittedly not very well read. I mean, gosh, if anything's clear, it's that. So I hope he responds. I hope he gets back to me. I hope he recommends what political book I need to read first. I'm intrigued. I will order that thing immediately. I got my reading glasses. I'm a new reader here. I'm into it. I got my shortwave radio and my books. I'm entering a new phase of my life where I want to become more learned. So teach me. I'm your clay. Mold me. Oh, I hear the paperboy coming now. Here he is, evil himself, bringing us the news. Hello. Throw that thing in here. Oh, nice toss. Nice toss. All right. Well, I think, what I'm feeling, the move is for today. Bob, if you agree, let's do the Drudge for the headline, and then we'll just take it from there. We got our RSS feed to augment, to fill in holes and things like that. So let's just see what happens here. Bob, if you would, go ahead and load in the Drudge for the headline. Oh, man. Yeah, I was a little bit procrastinating this because this is just such a tragic story. It's heartbreaking. Apocalypse Maui. Fires rip through paradise. 36 dead in beach town. Updates. Lahaina, if I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. Lahaina, this town, it's a town, I guess, of around 12,000 people. It's a small, beautiful beach town in Maui. Completely destroyed, just decimated. It looks like a bomb hit it. It's horrible. It's just heartbreaking. I don't know if we need to explore it much. I know you're all aware that this is going on. I just watched some videos of the destruction, and it's just mind blowing. It's just here. We'll look at it a little bit together. Over 30 people have died. The latest estimate is around 36.
I had an opportunity to fly with the Coast Guard this afternoon to see the devastating impacts firsthand. Just to fly over Kihei and continue to see the burning flames and see.
Sort of a horrific perfect storm, because a lot of what's going, it's so dry there because of the drought, but there was also that typhoon to the south that was creating all these winds, and not only were the winds sending the fire all over the place uncontrollably, but the winds also prevented the helicopters from being able to fly in to fight it. And it was just a horrible situation. The entire town pretty much has been destroyed.
Firsthand, the impact on Lahaina and Lahaina town was just so shocking and devastating. It looked as if it's just the whole town was devastated. The whole town was decimated.
There's three conditions that we got from the National Weather Service. They call it a red flag alert. So that's dry conditions, right? So you got dry fuel, trees, plants. You got low humidity and high winds. And then the reason it spread so fast is there are reports of gusts of up to 85 miles per hour. So, that is so fast. And that's why Maui County had such a hard time doing containment of the fire. And because the winds were so high, we couldn't provide the helicopters to do the water bucket support.
Today we got about a little over 11,000 travelers out of.
Oh, it's just unbelievable. Of course, there's as many inspiring stories along the way of neighbors helping neighbors. Even the airlines stepped up and provided Delta, United, different airlines to provide bigger planes to get people out of there. So a lot of people rallying to each other's aid. So there's lots of inspiring stories in the tragedy. But heart goes out to everybody. What a terrible situation. Maui's famous banyan tree, largest in the USA, scorched by the deadly fires. Meanwhile, in Ecuador, did you hear about this? A presidential candidate was fatally shot at a political rally last night. He was an anti-corruption candidate and was shot 3 times. The assailant escaped afterwards. Ecuador. Oh gosh, the Ramaswamy tsunami, according to this headline from Labash. Ramaswamy Vivek. He's a new conservative candidate that you should definitely keep your eye on. This guy sort of terrifies me. He's very eloquent. He's very charming. He's very smart, and he has some terrifying visions for the future of our country. I'd keep an eye on him. He's an interesting, out of nowhere, fully formed candidate, which is always a fascinating situation. All right, let's move from the Drudge into our feed here. This might be a way to go. The Drudge for the main headline, a quick scan. Oh, I want to take a moment here to recognize Robbie Robertson. Rest in peace. 80 years old, passed away yesterday. What an enigmatic performer. He's from the band. He was played a lot with Bob Dylan. Helped had a very, the Last Waltz was one of the most famous rock and roll movies of all time. Scorsese, the band. It's quite a loss. I'm just imagine whenever Robbie Robertson is on stage of any footage I've ever watched, it was really hard for me to take my eyes off of him. He's just such an interesting dude, great songwriter, great musician, and thank you for the music, Robbie Robertson. Yep. Here's to you, buddy. All right, let's check in on our feed here. If anybody has any news sources they would like added to the feed, I did, by request last night, added Democracy Now! Into the mix of our feed. And it's really easy to add different sources into the feed, and we can go to any of them individually. And if you have something that you think we should explore, post it into the chat wherever you're watching, whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, or just hanging out in Discord. Let me know what we need to know. April, good to see you. Oh my goodness, April, you saw the band with Bob Dylan? Where was that? Go on. You lucky dog. That is so cool. Trump says he won't sign the loyalty pledge required for the first GOP debate. He's being coy. Not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. I keep hearing murmurs of this Gavin Newsom Ron DeSantis debate, and I think that would be a very, very interesting debate. Might have to do some special coverage if that happens. It'll be interesting to see. I'm curious how either one of them will perform, but I also feel like the two of them would be a nice focused debate without so many candidates on the stage. It would be a very interesting just to see those two ideologies clash. I feel like they're two pretty good representatives for two different ways of looking at things. I'm intrigued. And not surprised that Trump's going to sit out the first couple of rounds, let some dust settle around a few things, and just heckle he'll be out there heckling for sure. He'll just heckle from afar. Putin considers attending G20 summit in person, setting up tense meeting with Western leaders. He has been accused of war crimes, so I wonder where that's going to be taking place and what kind of assurances he'll receive that he won't be arrested immediately. I know that's part of the concern. That'll be interesting to watch that develop. Did the U.S. ask for Imran Khan's removal as Pakistan PM after he visited Russia? Question mark. Oh, headlines with a question mark. Why don't they just tell us? You know, you could have told us in the same amount of real estate it took to ask the question. They want us to click. I'm a Ukrainian soldier who spent 5 days in a trench waiting for death. Trench warfare is back with a vengeance. I just can't even imagine. The war in Ukraine seems to be at a bit of a deadlock. The counteroffensive being waged by Ukraine is not gaining any new ground. They're coming up against a pretty thick brick wall, it seems, and it's a bit of a stalemate. I'm not sure what, but the killing continues. It's so almost senseless. Poland to send 10,000 soldiers to the border with Belarus. All eyes are on that little region of the world. That is one potential flashpoint that could involve a NATO country. So we really hope that they can keep all that under control. Kuwait bans the Barbie movie as Lebanese minister calls for action over the film. Lights, camera, what kind of action do they want to take beyond banning it? What else is there to do? I need to see this thing. I think Kether's going to go see it today, so I'll be hearing firsthand reports later on tonight. Speaking of later on tonight, it is Jabberjohn night. I usually reach out to Dad after the news to see how he's feeling, see if he's up for the show. So hopefully that will be happening tonight at 7. Another episode of Jabberjohn with Kyle Hogg, Steve Moore, Nathan Moore. We're sitting around talking about whatever we talk about. Lebanon's army seizes ammunition after Hezbollah fight in Christian town. Ex-Trump aide Stephen Miller's legal group files complaint against Kellogg's woke programs. Gosh, if I never hear the word woke again, it won't be too soon. I just don't even know what to do anymore. Oh, the Forum. Where is that in San Francisco? Gosh, to see Bob Dylan and the band together. What an amazing... What year was that, if I may ask? Middle East Roundup. U.S., Iran jostle for control of Gulf. Boy, there's just so much going on. Saudi Arabia and Iran are agreeing to disagree for the time being. America's in a very interesting position after making so many huge missteps over the last few decades and in so many huge ways. I just can't even begin. I just can't even begin to fathom. But now we're trying to figure out exactly what our role should be, exactly what we're supposed to be doing over there, and nobody knows. Anybody that thinks they knows has a one-sided view of the world. They need to read a book and realize you don't know. 5 Turkish soldiers killed in anti-PKK military operation in Iraq. Turkish military launched Operation Claw Lock against PKK fighters in northern Iraq in April 22. Claw Lock. That's the best they could come up with? Claw Lock. Boy, the naming of things. Oh, man. The human cost of France's nuclear tests in the Pacific. 101 East investigates the effects of France's nuclear tests in French Polynesia. What kind of nuclear tests are they doing in the Pacific? Are we talking about bombs? What? Here, I got to click on this. Look at these guys. It reminds me there already is Halloween stuff in the stores. I believe that's too soon. For 30 years, France undertook nuclear testing in its Pacific territory, French Polynesia. In recent years, investigations have revealed the effects of tests were far greater than France has officially acknowledged. A total of 193 nuclear tests were undertaken, including 41 atmospheric tests that expose the local population and site workers to high levels of radiation. Man, so this is not new news. This is just ongoing over the last few decades. Continuous. Oh my goodness. I just don't even know what to say about that. Trump wants the DOJ to set up a secure facility where he can discuss classified docs, his own little war room, so he figures out what to tweet next. So I should tweet that, right? No, sir. No, that's you can't say that. Okay, all right. Well, I'm just gonna tweet it then. Is that cool? I'm just gonna tweet that out. He's just waiting to get the list of things he can't say so he can say them. Here you go. Here's 10 things you can't say. Wait, sir, that's not your speech. No, wait, sir. Oh God, here we go. Too late. Russia faces great dilemma as Ukraine puts Moscow on the defensive. How to beat Donald Trump. Oh my goodness. Here it is. The New York Times just going ahead and putting it out there. Oh, that doesn't look readable. I'm not sure what that is. Clarence Thomas accepted more gifts from billionaire benefactors. New ProPublica report says, well, found another one and another one tomorrow. Oh, God, he got that too. Whoa. Yeah, that the never-ending story of Thomas's gifts from donors. 75, 76. This is just in from the chat. This is April saying when she saw Bob Dylan in the band, thinks it was around 1975